Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition series where I predict how every men's college basketball tournament will play out as I go round by round and pick winners based on my projections. Next up is the OVC, the Ohio Valley. Before I do my predictions for this tournament, I'm going to look back on my preseason predictions for this conference and see how I did. All right, in first place, I had Belmont. They came in first. In second place, in the conference, I had Murray State. They came in second. In third place, I had Jacksonville State, and it ended up being Austin Peay. Fourth place, I had Austin Peay. It ended up being Eastern Kentucky. Fifth place, I had Tennessee Martin. They didn't even place in the top 8, and fifth place wound up being Tennessee State. Sixth place, I had Eastern Kentucky. It ended up being Eastern Illinois. Eastern Illinois is who I had in seventh place, and it ended up being Jacksonville State. Eighth place, I had Morehead State, and Morehead State ended up coming in eighth. Ninth place was Tennessee Tech. I had Tennessee State. 10th place, I had Tennessee Tech and ended up being Tennessee Martin. SIU Edwardsville came in 11th, and that's why I had 11th. And 12th place, I had Southeast Missouri State, and they did indeed come in last place this season. So, not bad predicting the OVC for the season. And now, without further ado, I'm going to predict the conference tournament, which will be held at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, which is the home of Evansville, who is in the Mountain Valley or Missouri Valley Conference. All right. First round tonight, 7:30 on ESPN Plus. 8-seeded Morehead State versus 5-seeded Tennessee State. Morehead State 13-18 on the season, 7-11 in conference play. Tennessee State 17-14 on the season, 9-9 in conference play. To pick Tennessee State, and I have them as a 2-point favorite on a neutral over Morehead State. 7-seeded Jacksonville State versus 6-seeded Eastern Illinois, 9:30 ESPN Plus. Jacksonville State 13-18 on the season, 8-10 in conference play. Eastern Illinois 16-14 on the season, 9-9 in conference play. To pick Eastern Illinois, and I have them as a 3-point favorite. Quarterfinals tomorrow, 7:30 ESPN Plus. 5-seeded Tennessee State versus 4-seeded Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky 15-16 on the year, 12-6 in conference play. To pick Eastern Kentucky, as I have them as a projected 2-point favorite. 6-seeded Eastern Illinois versus 3-seeded Austin Peay, 9:30 ESPN Plus. Austin Peay 20-11 on the season, 14-4 in conference play. The pick, Austin Peay. I have Austin Peay as a projected 7-point favorite. Semifinals Friday night, 8 o'clock ESPNU. 4-seeded Eastern Kentucky versus 1-seeded Belmont. Belmont 24-7 on the season, 15-3 in conference play. The pick, Belmont, as I have them favored as a 7.5. Austin Peay, your 3-seed versus 2-seeded Murray State, 10 o'clock on ESPNU. Murray State, 22-8 on the year, and 15-3 in conference play. These teams met in the semis last year, and the Raiders came out victorious. This season, I expect the same result for the Racers, as Tevin Brown will lead them the way. So, Murray State's the pick, and I have them as a 2-point favorite. Championship, Saturday night, 8 o'clock, ESPN 2. 2-seeded Murray State versus 1-seeded Belmont. These teams also met in the title game last season, and the Racers came out on top, led by John Morant. This year, I think the Bruins will come out on top thanks to Adam Kunkel, as they'll earn the auto bid to the big dance. So, the pick is Belmont, and I have them as a projected slim 1-point favorite, as I think Belmont will get the auto bid. And if Belmont loses in the prior rounds, I think that their at-large chances are very slim, and I think some things would have to happen to the mediocre teams from the bigger conferences if Belmont is able to crack in as an at-large number. All right, so next up is the Missouri Valley Conference.